Detective Callum was investigating a new mysterious case. He was looking for clues in the attic of an old mansion when he suddenly heard a click. That's right, he got stuck inside. But it got worse. The room started to get filled with water. How can Detective Callum escape? Do you see the ball? It floats in the water, so the detective should just hold on to it. And when the water level gets high enough to reach that window in the ceiling, he'll just need to open it and escape. Now you will turn into a detective yourself. I'll show you some pictures, and you'll need to find some proof to confirm certain facts. For example, this. Haley lives in college and rents an apartment. One day, her mother comes to visit. She has suspicions that Haley lives with a boyfriend. Look at her apartment attentively. Can you figure out if she lives alone or with someone? Okay, there are a few clues here. First, look at the number of shoes. Way too many for one person, and some of them are men's shoes. And then there's a calendar on the wall with stickers. Some say Haley, and others say Brian. So there's definitely a Brian in this house. Mrs. Miller grounded her daughter Geneva for not doing well at school. The girl was supposed to stay home and study all the time. On the weekend, Mrs. Miller had a night shift at work. When she returned home on a Sunday morning, she peeked into Geneva's room. Can you figure out if the girl studied last night or not? There's a bowl with popcorn leftovers on the floor and 4 glasses. She definitely had some friends over. Jennifer rented out her guest house, and she specifically mentioned that pets weren't allowed to stay there. Still, she regularly heard some barking at night and started to suspect that her tenant had gotten a dog. One day she went to check the guest house. Do you think a dog lives here? Look at those chewed shoes. I bet it wasn't a person who did this. Ben sells milk. He has a big pot full of milk, and he wants to make sure that he can send any amount of gallons of milk a customer would want. He can only buy 4 jars of different capacities. What should be the capacities of the jars to make sure he can measure any whole amount of milk from 1 gallon to 40? Where there should be 1 jar of 1 gallon capacity, so we get this one. Now if someone wants to get 2 gallons, we don't need to have a 2-gallon jar. We can have a 3-gallon jar, fill it in, and pour 1 gallon into a 1-gallon jar. The rest will be 2 gallons. Now the customer who wants 3 gallons is covered too. 4 gallons will easily be measured by those 2 jars. To get 5 gallons, we can buy a 9-gallon jar, pour out 3 gallons, and then 1 more. Everything from 6 to 13 gallons is covered by these 3 jars too. Now we need 14 gallons. So we can have a jar of 14 gallons plus 13 gallons, which is a 27-gallon jar. We get 14 by filling the 27-gallon jar to the brim and then filling the 9-gallon, 3-gallon, and 1-gallon jars. Using different combinations, any amount from 15 to 40 will be covered too. Oh, phew, that was tough. Let's take a break and solve something easier. All you need to do is think outside the box. Here's a sequence of numbers. Take a look. The question is, what comes next? It's not as difficult as it might seem. The next one up is a comma. I am found in the sea, but I perish in water. What is it? It's salt. 3 men, Jack, John, and James, were on a boat trip. The boat flipped over. but only 2 men got their hair wet. How is it possible? Well, one of the men was bald. 7 men were standing at a bus stop, waiting for a bus. Well, that figures. They tried to fit under one umbrella, and none of them got wet. How is it possible? Well, it simply wasn't raining. Now, how about some matchstick puzzles? Here's the first one. Move one matchstick to make it correct. You just need to move this one and turn minus into plus, like this. Let me know if you came up with another solution. Okay, here's the next equation for you. And again, you can only move one matchstick. The solution is similar. We turn 8 into 6 and minus into plus. Did you get it right? Great job! And here's the next one. As always, you can only move one matchstick. What's your call? Now we should turn plus into minus, just like this. Okay, 2 more of these. Ready? This one is easy. Can you get it right? Yes, of course. Great job! And now, the last one of these puzzles for you. The numbers are bigger, the stakes are higher. Let's see if you can get it right. Okay, this is the solution. Did you get it right? Moving on. Esme was having her casual walk in the forest. She always got lost in that forest, and it happened yet again. But luckily, she found the house of the witch, who was already her good acquaintance. Esme asked the witch to take her home, but the witch wouldn't let her go without a task. "I want to play chess with you, but it won't be just a regular chess game. We will have superpowers. One of us will get the mind-reading ability, and the other will get the ability to see the future.
Oh my God.
You can choose your superpower first." Which superpower should Esme choose if she wants to have the best chances? Esme should choose mind reading. To figure out why, let's see how a chess player thinks. A chess player sees several possible moves. They're called candidate moves. For each of those moves, the player thinks of the possible responses of the opponent. The player judges which are good and which are bad, and then also thinks of their next move. So the depth of strategic thinking and the ability to choose the best moves are what determines the winner. Now, if Esme has a mind-reading ability, she can see all the strategic calculations of the witch. Now, there are 3 possible outcomes. The first one is if Esme is a better player than the witch. Then she will easily win. The second one is if the witch is a better chess player. In this case, Esme can take advantage of the fact that she can read the witch's calculations of the game and her judgment on which moves are good and which are not. So Esme can then just go with the moves that the witch thinks are the best for Esme to make. So Esme will be able to finish the game in a draw. The third case is if they are equally good. In this case, they can also end the game in a draw. In this case, Esme chooses to read the future. She will know the witch's next move, but she won't have access to the witch's reasoning and calculations. She'll have to go with her own judgment. So if Esme is a better player, she'll win. If they are equally good, the game will end in a draw. But if the witch is a better player, then the witch will win. So choosing the mind-reading ability is a safer bet. Let me know if you have another solution. See you later!
You think you're a math genius? Well, here's your chance to prove that. For I have prepared the ultimate IQ test for you. Don't forget to keep track of your correct answers.
Yeah.
Take a look at the image. Can you tell me what's the number of the parking space covered by the car? Well, this math question actually requires no math whatsoever. If you flip the image upside down, you'll see that what you're dealing with is a simple number sequence. So, the correct answer is 87. I am an odd number. Take away one letter and I become even. What number am I? The answer is 7. Take away the S and it becomes even. There's a 3-digit number. The second digit is 4 times as big as the third digit, while the first digit is 3 less than the second digit. What is the number? The correct answer is 141. Sally is 54 years old and her mother is 80. Can you tell me how many years ago Sally's mother was 3 times Sally's age? It was 41 years ago when Sally was 13 and her mother was 39. I add 6 to 11 and get 5. Can you tell me how that's possible? Well, you'll need to use your critical thinking skills to solve this rather than your math knowledge and shift your perspective. When it is 11 a.m., adding 6 hours makes it 5 p.m. That's how the equation is possible. What is the smallest number that is increased by 12 when it's flipped and turned upside down? The answer is 86. When it's turned upside down and flipped, it becomes 98, which is 12 more than 86. My twin lives at the reverse of my house number. The difference between our house numbers ends in 2. What are the lowest possible numbers of our house numbers? I never said these math riddles were going to be easy to solve. Anyway, here's the answer to this one. The lowest possible numbers for the houses are 19 and 91. The difference is 72. A father is 4 times as old as his son. In 20 years, he will be twice as old. How old are they now? The father is 40 years old and the son is 10 years old. What 3 positive numbers give the same answer when multiplied and added together? The answer is 1, 2, and 3. You have a 3-gallon bottle and a 5-gallon bottle. How can you measure exactly 4 gallons of water? Fill the 3-gallon bottle and pour it into the 5-gallon bottle. Then fill the 3-gallon bottle again and carefully pour it into the 5-gallon bottle until the 5-gallon bottle is full. This will leave 1 gallon in the 3-gallon bottle. Empty the 5-gallon bottle and pour the 1 gallon from the 3-gallon bottle into it. Now, fill the 3-gallon bottle one more time and pour it into the 5-gallon bottle, giving you 4 gallons in the 5-gallon bottle. How can a chef use an 11-minute hourglass and a 7-minute hourglass to time vegetables that must be cooked for 15 minutes consequently? Turn over both hourglasses at the same time, but don't put any vegetables in just yet. When the 7-minute hourglass runs out, put in the vegetables immediately. There will be 4 minutes left on the 11-minute hourglass. When that runs out, just flip it back over for another 11 minutes. That gives you the 4 minutes plus the 11 minutes, which makes 15 minutes. A box contains 6 red balls, 4 green balls, and 2 blue balls. Without looking, what's the minimum number of balls you need to draw to ensure you have at least 2 balls of the same color? The answer is 4. Here's why. Because even if the worst case scenario happens, which is you'll draw 1 ball of each color, the next ball you'll pick will match one of the colors drawn previously. What comes next in this sequence? You see, each number in this sequence is generated by taking a square of a natural number, aka 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then adding that natural number itself. For example, the first number in the sequence is the square of 1 plus 1. The second is the square of 2 plus 2, and so on. According to that formula, the next number in this sequence will be 30. You have a set of scales and 8 balls. One of the balls is slightly heavier than the rest, but you don't know which one. You can use the scales only twice. How can you find the heavier ball? As step 1, you need to pick 6 balls and weigh them 3 on each side of the scale. If the balls balance each other, then weigh the remaining 2 balls, and the heavier one will tilt the balance on its side. But if the balls do not balance each other, then the heavier ball should be one of the 3 balls on the side the balance tilts. From these 3 balls, discard one of them and choose the other 2 to weigh. If the 2 balls balance each other, then the heavier one is the discarded 3rd ball. If not, the heavier one will tilt the balance on its side. Take a look at this table. According to it, what will 7 plus 3 make? So in these equations, you first subtract the second number from the first number. Then, you put the 2 numbers together without any mathematical operation. For example, in 4 plus 2 equals 26, you subtract 2 from 4, which is 2, and then you add 4 and 2 together, which is 6, and this gives you 26. So, for 7 plus 3, you subtract 3 from 7, which is 4, and then you add 7 and 3 together, which results in 410. A grandmother, 2 mothers, and 2 daughters went to a baseball game together and bought 1 ticket each. How many tickets did they buy in total? They bought 3 tickets. The grandmother is also a mother, and the mother is also a daughter. What can you put between a 7 and an 8 so that the result is greater than a 7 but less than an 8? A decimal, because even 7.8 is greater than 7 but less than 8. If 7 people meet each other and each person shakes hands only once with each other, how many handshakes will there be in total? The first person shakes the hand of 6 others. The second person shakes the hand of 5 remaining people. The third person shakes the hand of 4 remaining people, and so on. So, you can reach the correct answer by adding 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 together, which will give you 21 handshakes. Jessica works at SeaWorld. When she tries to put each fish in its own aquarium, she has 1 fish too many. But if she puts 2 fish per aquarium, she has 1 aquarium too many. How many fish and how many aquariums does Jessica have? She has 3 aquariums and 4 fish. David is the owner of a clothing store, and he has come up with his own method of pricing items. According to it, a vest costs $20, socks cost $25, a tie costs $15, and a blouse costs $30. Using the same method, how much would a pair of underwear cost? The pricing method consists of charging $5 for each letter required to spell the item. So, a pair of underwear will cost $45. Let's check your results. If you got 0 to 6 questions right, maybe math equations are not your strong suit, but your talents might be lying elsewhere. Just find what that is to shine your light on the world. If you got 7 to 11 questions right, it shows that you have potential, but maybe you were just out of your element today. I suggest you try again when you feel like you can concentrate more. If you got 12 to 16 questions right, the Genius Club has saved you a spot. Just practice more and you'll get there in no time. If you got 16 to 20 questions right, my friend, you bow to no one. You just entered a riddle solving competition. The game show host shows you the first riddle you have to answer. Take a look at the image. Who do you think will be able to make it all the way across the line? Let's face it, it's the man on the left. Even though it looks like he's having a hard time carrying such heavy things, the weight is evenly distributed between his 2 hands, so he'll probably make it through without any problem. For your next challenge, the game show host shows you a picture of sinking boats. Which boat do you think will sink first? The first boat has 2 holes in it, but somehow it has way less water inside. The second boat only has 1 hole, but look at the amount of water that got inside. It's definitely the second boat that's going to sink first. Since you passed the first 2 rounds, the third one gets a bit harder. Ken was riding on his rollerblades when he fell down and hurt his head. He woke up in the hospital only to find that 3 Barbies were waiting for him. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out which Barbie is actually Ken's girlfriend? This is a tricky one. It can't be the third Barbie, because the real Barbie would never wink at Ken. It's usually him that does the flirty things. It's also not the second Barbie, because she would never put makeup in front of him. So this leaves us the first Barbie, who must be his girlfriend. The Finn is a famous hostel in Spain. It's especially famous for its fun showers. But hey, something doesn't look right in this image. Take a look and try to guess what it is. The woman on the right is squeezing a ketchup bottle instead of a shampoo bottle. That's definitely weird, huh? For the final rounds, the host picked out a few written riddles for you. The first one is, I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. Am I a microphone, a phone, or an echo? What would you say? The answer is an echo. I'm not alive, but I can grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. What am I? A tree, fire, or clouds? The correct answer is fire. Way to go if you chose that. Matthew works in the same company as Jean. He's had a crush on her for months and has been trying to impress her in any way he can think of. That's why he decided to take part in the Brain Challenge, a contest his company organizes once a year. By saying yes, he had to answer a bunch of expert-level questions and solve some pretty difficult riddles. For the first round, he had to crack a rebus puzzle. Take a look at the piece of paper they gave him. Can you guess the answer? The answer was invisible string. Nice! For the next round, they took Matthew to a room full of random stuff. His task was to find a specific object. As a clue, they gave him a piece of paper that said, "What goes up when the rain goes down?" Look around and help him find the object. It was that red and blue umbrella over there. For the final round, Matthew had to solve an AI riddle. If he answered it correctly, he would win the contest's main prize and probably Jean's heart. The riddle said, "I have 1,000 needles, but I do not sew. What am I?" Can you guess what he answered? The correct answer is a porcupine. Alfred is a supermodel, and he just landed his dream job. The biggest magazine in the country invited him to be on the cover of their latest issue. On the day of the photo shoot, he arrived early in the studio. After finishing with hair and makeup, he looked in the mirror and screamed, "Oh no!" His skin was all red. It looked like he was having some serious allergic rash. He called all the assistants he had seen earlier that day to interrogate them. Amy, the photographer's assistant, said she had been told Alfred was allergic to peanuts, so she made sure to only buy safe snacks. Bo, the makeup artist, said he hadn't touched Alfred's food. He said that right after he had finished his job, he left for a coffee break. Mary, the cleaning lady, said that she knew how sensitive models could be, so that's why she only used organic and hypoallergenic products to clean his dressing room. Alfred immediately knew who had contributed to his rash. Can you figure it out too? It was definitely Bo. Sure, he didn't have access to Alfred's food, but he was the only one who touched Alfred's face that day. Liv was recording a dance routine for her social media page when a huge portal opened up and swallowed her whole. The next thing she knew, she was stuck inside a big cavern. Out of the blue, a great genie appeared. He told her that she would only be allowed to leave if she figured a way out by herself. As soon as he disappeared, she saw that there were 3 buttons on the wall. There was a red, a yellow, and a green button. On the floor, there was a note that read, TDUPT RNOR EHEB SST. She clicked one of the buttons and managed to open a hidden door on the wall. Can you guess which button she chose? The red button. She unscrambled the words on the note and discovered it read, "Press the red button." As soon as she pressed the button, Liv was transported into a virtual reality world. An artificial intelligence greeted her and showed her 3 doors. The AI told her that there was only one door that would lead her to freedom. It told her that behind the first door, there were hungry Pac-Men waiting for someone to walk inside. Behind the second door, there were cursed rollerblades. Once you put them on, you would never be able to take them off. Plus, they had a will of their own and ended up taking you to some pretty dark places. Behind the last door, there were flying fuzzy creatures with laser eyes that burn anything they came into contact with. Which door do you think Liv should choose to escape? Well, she should pick the second door because she wouldn't be obligated to put on the pair of rollerblades. She could walk past them and straight to her freedom. During the time she was gone, Liv noticed that someone had stolen her laptop. It had all of her social media content in it. She figured it must have been one of her roommates, so she decided to take a look around the house to try to find it. Take a look at these images. The first room belongs to Jill. The second one belongs to Rachel, and the third one belongs to Amy. Can you figure out who stole Liv's laptop? If you look closely, Rachel's cat is sleeping on top of something that really looks like a laptop. It must have been her. On a hot summer day, Marjorie decided to go to the public swimming pool. As soon as she arrived there, she ran into 3 close friends: Sarah, Raven, and Donna. One of these women just gave birth to triplets. Can you guess who? It was Donna. If you look closely at her wrist, she's wearing 3 DIY bracelets with the word Mom written on them. Sam was backpacking through Latin America when he stopped at a restaurant to get some lunch. When he walked inside, he immediately spotted something weird. One of the customers is definitely not human. Can you guess who? It's the guy on the counter. Look, he's charging his hand on the counter socket. He must be a robot or something.
Leslie was driving at night to visit her parents, but unfortunately, her car broke down in the middle of nowhere. She decided to walk around to find some help and came across an eerie-looking house. As she started walking through the garden to reach the door, she suddenly got really scared and ran back to her car. Can you spot the 3 things that made her terrified? Look at the statue at the center of the fountain. Its eyes are moving left and right. Secondly, do you see the skeleton hands that are trying to crawl out of the ground? Creepy. And on top of everything, the black cat here has a snake tail instead of a regular one. Mrs. Blair thought, what better way to scare her students than with a pop quiz on Halloween? But she decided to pay extra attention during the exam because everybody would be coming to school dressed in costumes, and that would make it easier for them to cheat. And she was right, because one of them was indeed trying to cheat. Can you tell who? Look, this girl here is hiding a piece of paper with the answers under her witch's hat. On Halloween night, Amanda was playing Truth or Dare with her friends. When it was her turn, they challenged her to enter the old mansion, which not a single soul in town dared to enter before. She accepted the challenge and went inside. But suddenly, the door behind her closed on its own and got locked. Then a skeleton butler greeted her and said, "You're not welcome here, but you can leave if you know my riddle." In the darkest night, I come to life. My eerie gaze causes no strife. What am I that lights the way when monsters and goblins come out to play? Can you help Amanda? The correct answer is a jack-o'-lantern. Amy was invited to a Halloween party in her neighborhood. When she arrived at the house, she noticed three people in costumes who were chilling in the hot pool. But one of them was not a real human being. Can you tell who? Well, the first girl in the witch's costume and the second guy with fangs look scary, but they're only wearing makeup. But the girl who is in a mermaid costume is a real mermaid, because look at her neck. She has gills. It was Aurora's 21st birthday, and her witch aunts were finally going to accept her to their coven. However, there was one spell that she needed to complete as her final test, and it required a magical cauldron. The catch is one could only use this cauldron if they solved the riddle that was engraved on it, which said, "I'm a season of colors with leaves that fall. It's when cozy sweaters come out to warm you all. What am I, aspiring magician, do you know? Solve this riddle and your magical powers will grow." Can you help Aurora find the correct answer? The answer you're looking for is the season of autumn. Take a look at these two women who are preparing the dinner tables for their Halloween party, but one of them has nefarious intentions. Can you tell who is the dangerous one? If you take a closer look, you'll see that the lady on the left is more spooky than scary. The green cream on the brownies may look poisonous, but it's just food coloring. And those fingers on the tray are only finger-shaped cookies. So she is simply preparing for the holiday. But the lady on the right didn't even bother to wear a costume, even though she's throwing a Halloween dinner party. And why would anyone sharpen their knives before her guests arrive? That's suspicious. So she must be the dangerous one. The young witch, Elaine, who lived in a deep enchanted forest, was invited to her coven's Halloween gathering. Unfortunately, her broom was broken, and the only other way she could get to her destination was through drinking the teleportation potion. However, she had never cast it before, and the three main ingredients for it were hidden with a riddle in her spell book. The first one was, "In the shadows I quietly grow, not a plant nor an animal you know. After rain I might start to bloom, often found in a forest gloom." Can you tell what the first ingredient is? It's a mushroom. The riddle for the second ingredient went, "I'm as light as air, soft to the touch. Upon a bird's back, I don't weigh much. I help a creature soar high and free, yet I fall to the ground for all to see. What am I?" Do you know the answer? It's a feather. And the riddle for the third ingredient was this: "In darkness I weave my trap so discreet. With patience I wait for a tasty treat. Silent and stealthy in corners I bide. With multiple eyes my world I divide." Can you help Elaine find out what that is? The answer is a spider. But now she needed to wander deeper into the woods to find those ingredients. Take a look around. Can you help her spot them? There's the mushroom under these flowers. The bird's feather is here, hidden behind the flowers. And the spider is climbing up this tree. One famous club in the city was organizing a Halloween party, and Jenny and her friends were going to go. Inside, there were 2 different counters from where they could get their drinks. But one of these bartenders is dangerous. Can you tell which one? This bartender is dressed as a vampire for Halloween, and he is simply putting on a fire show. On the other hand, the bartender who is polishing the glasses has a bottle of poison here among the bottles, so the girl should avoid him at all costs. James was attending a Halloween dinner party. He wanted to have something to eat, so he headed to the open buffet. Examine these 3 snack options closely. One of them will hurt his stomach. Can you tell which one that is? The first cupcakes might look like they're dripped in blood, but it's just cherry-flavored glaze. And these worms on the pudding cups are just worm gummies. But look at this candy apple. It's glowing like fluorescence. That looks toxic. Monsters from all around the world were going to meet at their annual Halloween celebration. But the word was out that a human heard about it and was planning to crash their party. So they placed a monster security at the entrance of the venue. The security was suspicious of these 3 creatures. Can you help him figure out which one of them is actually a human? Take a peek at the moon. It's not full. Then how come this werewolf is here? He shouldn't have turned into one, so he must be a human wearing a costume. Amy and her friends went to the Halloween parade that was visiting their town. There was a scary maze, and Amy decided to try it herself. However, after a while, she got lost and started to panic. But she didn't notice that there were hints around the maze that would guide her to the exit. Can you spot them? Look at these bricks on the maze walls here. They're in the shape of arrows. So she can just follow them and leave. Aaron got dressed as a pirate for Halloween. On his way to his friends, he saw a glowing box on the side of the road. He got curious and went to check it out. He discovered that it was a treasure box. He tried to open it, but it was locked, and there was a riddle on it. I'm colorful and chatty, perched up high, with feathers so vibrant I catch your eye. I can mimic your words both near and far, found in the jungle or as a pet. Can you tell what am I? It's a parrot.
Indiana Jones was on a mission to find a golden statue in the Peruvian Amazon. He had been searching the jungle for over 3 days when he found the entrance to a cave. He followed down very long corridors, escaped a few traps, and finally arrived at a room filled with gold. He could see the golden statue and made a run for it. But there was a trap door on the floor. Indiana Jones fell into a dungeon that had nothing except for an empty bucket and 3 doors. The first door would lead him to a hungry mama bear and her cub. The second door would lead him to a 6-foot wall of fire. The last door would lead him to a lake filled with crocodiles. Which door should Indiana Jones use to escape? Let's see. He should definitely pick the second door. If he tried the first door, the mama bear would probably attack him, trying to protect her cub. And swimming in a lake with crocodiles is never a good idea. The best option would be to fill the bucket with lake water to fight off the wall of fire. It would take some work, but it's Indiana Jones. He can do anything. Back in England, Indiana Jones is resting in his office when another professor anxiously approaches him. The professor says Jones needs to exit the building as fast as he can because some bad guys are looking for him. The professor gives him a map of the building and says he has to enter every single room on the way out, but he can't let the students in the classrooms see him more than once. Take a look at the map the professor gave him. How can Indiana Jones follow the instructions precisely and get away safely? Let's see how this works. There are two important things to note here. First, his own office counts as room number 1 in the building. We know he has to exit in room 16. The first guess might be to follow a line from left to right, moving from room 1 to 2, 3, 4, and so on. But if he chose this path, he wouldn't go through rooms 13, 14, and 15. Alternatively, he could exit room 1 to room 2, then go back to room 1. Since he's the only person inside his office, this doesn't break any of the rules. Then, he could follow the path down to rooms 5, 9, and 13, and zigzag all the way to the exit in room 16. This way, he wouldn't let anyone see him more than once. Way to go, Indy! Barbara entered a coffee shop excited to drink her daily cappuccino. But when she went to pay, she realized she had forgotten her wallet. The barista, instead of getting mad, suggested another way out. If Barbara could win his game, he would give her the cappuccino for free. Barbara agreed. Okay, I'm going to tell you 3 facts about myself, and you have to figure out which one is false, the barista said. Here are the facts. I have 7 brothers. I hate Nirvana. I'm actually an artist. Can you help Barbara out? Which fact do you think is false? It's the second one. For starters, the barista is wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and his phone's lock screen is a picture of the band. He definitely likes Nirvana. Hannah ran into 3 random women in the parking lot. She immediately noticed something was off and spotted that one of the ladies was actually a vampire. Take a look at the image. Can you guess who the vampire is? It's the third woman on the right. If you look closely, her teeth are pretty pointy. Plus, I'm almost sure that the red stain on her shirt isn't red paint, if you know what I mean. Susie was alone in her research lab, trying to build a time machine. She connected a red string here and a blue one right there. And boom! A time-bending portal opened up. She wasn't so sure where it would take her, but she decided to go through it anyway. Once she passed through the portal, she arrived in an empty field where she found a talking bear. She asked him where she was and what year they were in. But the bear said he would only answer her question if she got his riddle correct. The riddle went like this. I turn polar bears white, and I will make you cry. I make celebrities look stupid, and normal people look like celebrities. I turn pancakes brown. If you squeeze me, I'll pop. If you look at me, you'll pop. What am I? It took her a while, but Susie got it right. Do you have any idea what she answered? She said time. Mia was a student at the Witches Academy. She was specializing in ghost activity to protect humans from these spooky creatures. For one of her finals, she had to find a ghost inside the haunted barn just outside the school. The barn had a room filled with mirrors, and once she went inside, her internal ghost sensor started to give strong signs there was a ghost in the room. Take a look at the mirrors. They all reflect Mia's image, but the ghost is hiding inside one. Can you tell which one? Take a look at the third mirror. Mia is wearing her smartwatch, but her reflection in the mirror isn't. This must be the ghost pretending to be her. Way to go, Mia, for busting yet another ghost. Belly was a straight-A student, and for a school assignment, she had to come up with a riddle so difficult, almost nobody would be able to solve it. She spent a week developing it, and on Monday, she shared it with her peers. She gathered 100 students and gave them a number between 1 and 100. Each student was instructed to go inside a classroom that had exactly 100 boxes, randomly numbered between 1 and 100. Inside each box, there was a slip of paper, also containing a random number between 1 and 100. The students needed to enter the classroom on their own and find the box that contained the slip of paper with their own number on it. But to do so, students were only allowed to open a maximum of 50 boxes. They were instructed to leave the room exactly as they found it, and they weren't allowed to communicate with any other student once they left the room. If all of the students were able to find their number on the slips of paper inside the boxes, they would each win a $100 prize. But if even one of them wasn't able to find their number, then none of them would win the prize. Can you figure out what's the best strategy for all of the students to find their numbers and win the prize? Belly's riddle sure isn't obvious, but let's check out how it could work. If each student searched for their numbers randomly, they would each have a 50% chance of finding the box with their number inside. This is so because there were 100 boxes and they were allowed to look inside 50 of them. However, the probability of all of them finding their own number following this random strategy is absurdly small. So, to increase their chances of collectively finding their numbers, they would need a better strategy. The students could use something called the loop strategy. Once entering the classroom, they should go directly towards the box that had their number on top of it. The number inside probably wouldn't be their number, but that's okay. They should check the number inside of the box and go look for the box with that same number on top of it. And so on and so forth. They should keep doing this until they find the slip with their number on it. This strategy guarantees that 31% of the time, all students will be able to find their number and win the prize. It's not a huge probability, but hey, blame it on Belly.
Sarah is a PhD student at UTC. She lives in a big house with 4 other students from her program. One Friday night, she went out for coffee, and when she returned home, she found her super expensive laptop was missing. It had her top-notch research in it. She suspected that one of her housemates might have stolen it, so she decided to conduct an investigation. Alex, the oldest of them all, said he had been working in his room all day long and that he had been so focused on his work that he didn't see or hear anything out of the ordinary. Ben, who was one of Sarah's best friends, said he had been watching TV in the living room while she went out and hadn't seen anyone go in or out of the house. And Chloe, Sarah's apprentice, said she had gone out for groceries about the same time Sarah had gone out for coffee. After hearing all of them out, Sarah knew immediately who had stolen her laptop. Can you guess who did it? It was Chloe. She said she had gone out for groceries. But Ben was in the living room the entire time and didn't see anyone leave the house. She probably stole it to see the secret things Sarah had been working on. It's a rainy morning in New York City, and 3 influencers are waiting for a cab in the rain. One of them is in Brooklyn Heights, the other is in Chelsea, and the last one is in Bushwick. Take a look at the image. Can you tell who is going to get wet first? It's definitely the one who is in Bushwick. See how the rain is coming from behind her? That umbrella is not going to help very much. A group of friends were backpacking through Europe during the summer. During the last week of their trip, they decided to go to Italy. They spent the morning visiting ancient ruins, and by lunchtime, they were ready for some pasta. They sat down at a local restaurant and ate delicious Italian food. But when it was time to pay the bill, they noticed their wallets were missing. Since they didn't have money to pay for their meal, the restaurant owner called the police. As soon as the police arrived, they questioned each one of the travelers. "I remember seeing Alice with her wallet before we left the hostel," Emily said. "Well, I did have my wallet with me, but it might have fallen in the last Uber drive we took to get here," Alice said. "I'm sure I had my wallet with me when I got to the restaurant, but I just can't seem to find it now," Jake said. "My wallet was in the bag the whole time, but I just noticed someone opened it and left it open," Lily said. The police officer wasn't sure whether the group of travelers was telling the truth, so he asked to see the restaurant security footage. Take a look at the image. Is the group of friends lying or telling the truth? They were telling the truth. Look at that suspicious guy that entered the restaurant. He pretended to be a waiter to get close to the table. But he stole all of the travelers' wallets. Yike! We're talking a master pickpocket here. A small town only has 3 detectives. Since they all claim to be the best detective in town, the mayor came up with the ultimate challenge to determine once and for all who is the best. On that evening's TV announcement, the mayor said, "My cat Whiskers just went missing today, and I need the best detective to find him within 24 hours. The town's detectives, Toby, Juan, and Chloe, got to work immediately. Each of them adopted a different investigation method. Toby thought it was best to interview the mayor's neighbors to see where they had last seen Whiskers. Juan searched the town's main open public areas, such as the parks and playgrounds. And Chloe decided to follow the thin trail of cat fur and footprints starting from the mayor's place. Can you guess who found Whiskers first? It was Chloe. By following the trail left behind by the cat, she found Whiskers a few miles away from the house and won the title of the best detective in town. Liam was a famous engineer working at Gentech Corp. He had recently won an award for inventing an AI-driven robot assistant. One day, he arrived at work and found that his highly secured lab door was open and his robot was missing. His lab was protected by high-tech security devices, so he knew the person who broke in knew what they were doing. He accessed his computer logs and found a sequence of numbers that looked out of place. The numbers were 12, 9, 6, and 5. At the bottom of the page, a 4-spaced box appeared, asking for a key. He tried typing the numbers in, but they didn't work. He reflected upon them for a while and realized they were hiding an encrypted message. He discovered that the numbers translated into a word. Can you figure out what the message was hiding? Liam understood that the numbers were referring to a letter of the alphabet. The 12th letter is the letter L, and the 9th letter is the letter I. So, the sequence makes up the word LIFE, which is pronounced life. He inserted the word LIFE into the box at the bottom of his computer, and 4 different videos opened up on his screen. Each one of the videos showed a different location. The first video showed a park right next to Liam's office building. The second video showed an electric car shop. The third video showed Liam's living room, and the last video showed a theme park. Liam guessed that these images were a clue to where his robot might be. Can you help him choose the most likely place where the robot could be? If you look closely, the robot's legs appear in the first video. Liam headed down to the park, hoping to find his robot assistant. As soon as he arrived, he saw the robot sitting on the park bench alone. Liam looked extremely confused. He went up to the robot and asked it how it managed to escape the lab. It said it would only answer Liam if he correctly guessed what phrase was hidden in this enigmatic image. Can you help Liam figure it out? Oh, this sure is a clever robot. The phrase hidden in this image is, "I have my own life." I guess this AI robot was asking for some space of his own, huh? The robot finally admitted he escaped from the lab by himself. Liam was shocked because this was not programmed at all. When he tried entering a command to make his assistant follow him back to the lab, the robot multiplied into two other virtual robots. Liam wasn't paying attention at the moment, so he got confused as to which one was the original robot. Can you tell? It's the third one on the right. See how the sun reflects on its metal, but not on the other ones? Meanwhile, it was Johnny's 7th birthday, and the family decided to celebrate with a picnic at the park. The entire family was there, including the two dogs, Luke and Obi-Wan. During a game of throw and catch, Luke went missing. The family searched the nearby woods but couldn't find their pet. That's when they decided to call the police office. The police listened attentively to each family member's account. The dad said that he had seen Luke chase a squirrel deeper into the woods. Mom said she had heard Luke barking from the riverbank. Emma, Johnny's sister, said she had heard Luke barking from the meadow. Ethan, Johnny's older brother, said he could have sworn seeing Luke head toward the park's old bridge. Based on each one of the family members' accounts, where should the police officer look for the dog first? He should start at the old bridge. Ethan was the only one who gave a specific direction to where the dog might have headed, so that's probably the police's best guess for now. Oh look, there's Luke. He has a unique bark. Darth, Darth.
Hannah runs a dance show. She arrived in Finland with the 3 best dancers to perform during the winter holidays. On the first day of the trip, Hannah started to feel really bad and was taken to the doctor. After examining Hannah, the doctor claimed that someone had poisoned the girl. Hannah's manager flew in to interrogate each one of the dancers and find out if they'd had anything to do with what happened to Hannah. Kira said that she and the other girls had left the hotel early in the morning to explore the city. She also mentioned that Hannah had stayed behind to do a conference call in her room. Pam said she had spent the afternoon swimming at the beach, and that when she returned, she noticed Hannah was looking pretty bad. April said she decided to go to the museum all by herself since the other girls didn't want to join her. Hannah's manager noticed the girls' testimonies didn't match, and that it was definitely one of them who'd done it. Can you guess who is the culprit? It was Pam.
Oh, no.
She mentioned she'd gone to the beach, but it's wintertime in Finland. The water is freezing and mainly frozen this time of the year. She should have worked better on her alibi.
Oh no!
Hannah's manager called the police, and they arrested Pam. Kira and April felt bad for their friend, but they still had to put on a show, and now they were a dancer short. The girls decided to look online for a new dancer. They found 3 girls who might do a good job at replacing Pam: Deborah, Lily, and Sally. One of the girls is a perfect match for the trio. Can you guess who? It's Sally. Both of the other profiles are fake. If you look closely at Deborah's picture, you'll see that the shadow on the back is not hers. It's definitely photoshopped. And look at Lily's birthday information. If that were true, she wouldn't have been born yet. Keith was a singer, and he was going to perform at Bath's House of Performing Arts. He was taking all of his equipment backstage to get ready for a sound check when a police officer ran into the room. The officer said that one of the actors from that night's show was a runaway criminal. There were 4 actors playing Santa Claus, but one of them was a fake. Take a look at their bags. Can you figure out who the criminal is? It's the owner of the 3rd bag. Santa never shaves off his beard, and that guy is carrying shaving cream. He must be the runaway. Becky just bought new augmented reality goggles. She decided to play one of the games available, and this picture popped up right in front of her. These 3 people sure are in some bizarre situations, but which one doesn't make any sense? The man on the left is walking on lava. Sure, someone can do that, although it won't last for too long without the right kind of shoes. The man on the right is walking on desert sand, which is fully normal. But the woman in the middle looks like she is walking on burning water. That definitely doesn't make any sense. Felicity was 10 weeks pregnant when she decided to try a new doctor in town. The doctor did an ultrasound of her belly and gladly said, "Ah, it's a boy." Felicity looked confused and said, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm having twins." The doctor was the one that looked confused after Felicity's answer. Take a look at both women. Can you tell who's right? Felicity is right. I mean, take a look at this doctor. She isn't even a real doctor in the first place. She's not wearing proper medical attire, and she doesn't look like she knows what she is doing. Alex watched one too many Indiana Jones movies and decided to go to Egypt to explore ancient monuments. He spent days and days walking underground to try to find something valuable. One morning, when exploring a crypt, he ran into a huge wall full of symbols. Among the symbols, there was an encrypted message. It went like this: sun plus sun equals sign, moon plus moon equals sign, wave plus wave equals sign. Can you help Alex figure out the encoded message? This is not an easy one, but here's how it works. Sun has 3 letters, moon has 4 letters, and waves has 5 letters. So the encrypted message is the number sequence. 6, 8, 10. Way to go, you. Take a good look at this image. Can you tell who is smarter? Let's see. There's a part of the house on fire, so ice would be a bad way to try to extinguish it. You would have to wait for the ice to melt into water. But during that time, the fire just grows. Liquid water is the best medium for rapid extinguishment, so the person on the right looks like they know what they are doing. Aura had been searching for the entrance to Bithia, a hidden city inside a mountain, for ages. She searched the 7 seas and the 7 lands until she finally found a hidden door, guarded by 3 ancient creatures. She asked them if this was the entrance to Bithia, but they wouldn't say a word. Finally, the wise owl said she had to give a correct answer to a riddle from each creature, and only then they would tell her about Bithia. The wise owl said, "I have branches, yet I'm not a tree. I have a bank, yet I hold no money. What am I? Can you help Aura out?" The correct answer is a river. A river has branches that flow into different streams, and the sides of the river are called riverbanks. The fox was up next, and his riddle said, I have a bed, yet I don't sleep. I have a mouth, yet don't eat. What am I? Aura took a while to figure this one out, but she got it right. Can you guess what she said? It's an oven, duh. Pretty obvious now that you think of it. Up next was the deer. He said, I have a face, yet no eyes to see. I have a tail, yet no ability to wag. What am I? Do you know how to answer this one? It's a clock. A clock has a face with numbers but no eyes. And it has a tail that we call a pendulum, but it doesn't wag like an animal's tail. The wise owl opened the door and showed Aura that there were 3 pathways leading to Bithia. She should choose the correct one, otherwise she would get stuck in this in-between place forever and would never be able to get out. Take a look at the pathways. Which one should Aura choose to complete her journey? The first pathway looks like it has some poisonous flowers. The air looks like it's filled with their poisoned pollen, so that wouldn't be a nice one to go. The second pathway has dozens of angry-looking stags that could harm Aura, and the last one has a big lake that leads into a trail. She should go with the last one. On a rainy Saturday night, John and Katie decided to stay in, order pizza, and watch the Riddle channel on their TV. On the screen, they saw a man hanging for his life on the branch of a tree. He was surrounded by angry people. Down below, there were a group of guys with huge bats waiting for him to let go of the branch, and above him was an angry guy on a helicopter ready to grab him. Is there any way the guy can escape this trap? He should throw the bat that's in his pocket to the floor, aiming at the group below him. Hopefully, it would hit the guys below on the head, so he could let go of the branch and run as fast as he could into that nearby tunnel. This way, he'd escape the helicopter dude as well. Loki is hiking in a chanted forest. Suddenly, he gets into a magic trap. A wicked wizard, whose name is Olaf, offers him a deal. I'll set you free if you manage to crack all my riddles. First of all, organize these objects in order of invention. Olaf shows Loki a wheel, a lighter, a vase, a bow, and a light bulb. Can you help him put them into the correct positions? The bow is the oldest invention. Then goes the wheel, the ancient Greek vase, and the light bulb. And finally, the lighter. Next, Olaf shows Loki 2 pictures of his favorite fairy. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. The next task for Loki is to guess a word. Even when it passes in front of the sun, it doesn't cast a shadow. What is it? Wind. Olaf shows Loki a table with magic potions and ingredients. Ooh. He marked all the ingredients with the colors that they create when added to the potion. Loki has to guess which ingredients were not used in these 3 potions. Can you help him? We need red and yellow for the orange potion. For the blue one, dark blue and white. And for the dark green potion, we need green and black. So the extra ingredient is the pink one. Yeah! Loki cracks the riddle, and Olaf asks the next question. What stones will you never find in a river? Do you have any clue? Dry stones. The next task for Loki is to serve the wizard's girlfriends. Roxanne says, I don't want my cocktail to have any yellow fruits or berries. Sabrina says, I want my drink to have an ingredient that starts from the first letter of my name. And Cassandra says, I don't want any green or red ingredients in my drink. There are 3 cocktails in the fridge at the moment. Can you help Loki distribute the drinks among the ladies? The second cocktail is yellow, so it doesn't have anything red or green. It's for Roxanne. The first one is for Sabrina, because it has strawberries. And the third drink is a blueberry milkshake, so it fits Roxanne's order.
Oh, yeah.
Olaf is satisfied with Loki's intelligence, and he offers him a job.
Yeah.
Loki agrees and becomes the wizard's assistant. His first task is to clean the kitchen. Meanwhile, Olaf goes into the woods to collect some herbs. He comes across a toxic swamp and immediately gets sick. He needs a special potion. So Olaf sends Loki a letter with his crow. I need your help. Here are several recipes. Don't go anywhere. Prepare one potion and send it to me with the crow. Which potion should Loki make? Can you help him? Olaf says that Loki shouldn't go out, which means he can only use the ingredients that they have in the house. So Loki can't cook the first and the third potion. As for the second one, all the necessary ingredients are in her kitchen. Olaf gets better, but he still needs to stay in bed. So he sends Loki to the pet shop. The task is to buy a new cat. Olaf wants it to look like the cat that lived with him before. It must have green eyes and a one-color tail. Also, it shouldn't have any black wool. And it shouldn't be tabby. Can you help Loki find the right cat for Olaf? Only this cutie meets all the requirements. The next day, Olaf sends Loki to a wild beach to collect some rare magic seaweeds. Suddenly, Loki sees a group of beautiful ladies standing on the shore. He wants to approach. But the ladies notice Loki and begin to move in the opposite direction. Loki runs after them on the sand along the water, but he can't catch up. Then Loki looks around and realizes that he was chasing fairies. How did he know? Loki ran after those ladies on the sand, but he can only see his own footprints. The fairies were flying. Loki dives under the water to collect the seaweed. He sees a little mermaid there. Then he floats to the surface and dives again. Can you spot 3 differences under the sea? Here they are. Olaf's daughter, Salma, is a talented young witch. She likes getting into trouble. And this time, she was put in jail. Loki comes to the police station to rescue her. He pays bail, and the police officer is going to release Salma. One of these ladies is about to be free. Can you guess who? Take a closer look at the photo in his hand. Salma has brown eyes, so he should release the second prisoner. Loki and Salma should go back to the wizard's house, but the enchanted forest has many unexpected surprises. There are 3 possible routes they can take. There's a fire-breathing dragon sleeping in the first passage. There's a young magician hanging out on the second road. He hates all women, and he turns them into stones every time he meets them. And the third road runs through a toxic lake. Breathing its vapor is fatal for any living being. Which way is more or less safe? The guys can take the second route. Salma isn't just a woman, she's a witch, so she can deflect the black magic. The guys keep on walking and see an amusement park. The owner is very upset. Someone has stolen many tickets from the register. Loki offers to investigate this case. First of all, he looks through the footage. He's sure that the thief is still in the park. He questions 3 suspects. Billy says, I rode the carousel and I got very sick, so I wouldn't ride anything else, even for free. Miles says, I'm celebrating my 17th birthday today. My friends and I rode the roller coaster 3 times, and now it's time to go home. And Jessica says, I only visit the Ferris wheel. It's my favorite. Miles has tricked Loki. He's too young for the roller coaster. There's a sign. People under 18 years of age can't ride it. Loki and Salma continue on their way and find 3 apple trees. Salma wants to pick some apples for a magic punch, but only one of the trees is safe. Can you guess which one? All the footsteps are leading to the first tree, but not a single animal walked away from it, so it probably has some hidden danger. There are some creepy runes on the trunk of the second tree, so it's probably cursed. Therefore, they should choose the third tree. The guys are picking the apples and putting them in Salma's hat, and suddenly they meet someone very curious. Crack this rebus if you want to know who. A bear. The guys run away from the bear and hide in a cave. Luckily, Salma managed to collect 14 apples before the escape, because they met 7 hungry gnomes inside the cave. They demand payment for the shelter. How can Salma divide the fruits among the gnomes so that each gnome could get an equal amount of oranges? It's impossible because Salma doesn't have any oranges, only apples. Finally, Loki and Salma return to Olaf's house. Loki takes a look at the porch and says, "Wait a minute, something has changed since I last saw this porch. Look, I have a picture. Can you spot all the changes?" The runes at the door are now reflected. The plant from this pot is gone. The curtains have changed color, and the number of candles is different. Loki enters the house and finds Olaf unconscious on the floor. Someone put a sleeping spell on him and stole his magic tools. Loki interrogates 3 suspects among Olaf's neighbors. Cassandra says, "I just got home from a pumpkin festival. Everyone can verify my words." Ambrose says, "I've been retreating and meditating in my basement for a week. I have no idea who did it." And Roxane says, "It wasn't me, but I guess it was Cassandra. She's just jealous that Olaf decided to date me." Who did it? Take a closer look at the witch's cauldron in Ambrose's house. There's an engraving saying Olaf's property, so he's the thief.
Felix goes for a walk. He's carrying a basket with 5 apples. Suddenly, he meets hungry monkeys. How can Felix divide 5 apples among 5 monkeys so that each of them gets an apple, but at the same time 1 apple remains in the basket? Felix doesn't need to cut any of the apples. Just let one of the monkeys eat the apple from the basket. Felix wants to give his mom the best birthday gift ever, but he has 0 ideas. So, he decides to sneak into his mom's laptop and check what she'd saved in her online shopping cart. When she's at work, Felix turns on her computer, but it requires a password, and Felix doesn't know it. Luckily, there's a note right next to the computer saying 9869. He enters the code, but it doesn't work. What's the password? Felix should turn the paper upside down. The correct code is 6986. Felix decides to buy a vase for his mom. His friend Greg sells beautiful rare items. There are dozens of vases in his store. Felix arrives at the store and faces a scary scene. Greg's head is bandaged and his store is a mess. Greg says, "Some guys in masks ran into my store. They grabbed the money and the most expensive vases. Then they hit me on the head and I blacked out. The police are coming. I hope they'll find them." Felix immediately understands that Greg is lying to get the insurance money. How did he guess? Even though most of the vases are on the floor, they aren't even cracked. If the vases had fallen from the shelves during the robbery, they would have been shattered. Felix is watching a TV show. Two people participate in a contest. According to the rules, each person has to hold something. Finally, the jury announces the winner. It's the person with their hands and feet tied. How can this be possible? Simple. The participants had to hold their breath, and the tied person managed to hold it the longest. Felix is hanging out with his sisters and mom. They have 3 chocolate bars for 5 people. Felix has to share these bars in such a way that everyone gets the same amount of chocolate. Can you help him? Break each of the bars into 5 pieces. This way, everyone will get 3 pieces in total. A weird sound wakes Felix up in the middle of the night. He runs to the room where his 3 sisters sleep, but one of them is only pretending to be sleeping. Can you guess who? The third sister hid her dirty sneakers under the bed, and there are French fries under her pillow. She just returned home and made noise along the way. The next day, Felix goes to his favorite place for brunch. Luckily, it's happy hour time. They offer a 30% discount on all meals. Felix takes a bagel with salmon for $12, black coffee for $1, and a slice of chocolate cheesecake for $2. After the brunch, Felix leaves the restaurant and finds a $30 bill on the ground. How much money did Felix spend in total? Felix spent a total of $15. As for this $30 bill, it's fake. There are no such dollar banknotes, so his finding doesn't make any difference. Felix is attending his high school reunion. All of his friends seem to be doing well in life. Samantha is wearing expensive brands. Mia has a bunch of the latest smartphones. Jacob shows up in a fancy sports car. And Sean is wearing a luxurious gold watch on his wrist. Take a look at Felix's friends. Can you guess who's really rich? Samantha didn't take off the price tags from her clothes, so she's probably planning on returning them after the reunion. Mia's gadgets are fake. Take a look at the label. It's just a copy of the original brand. As for Sean's watch, it's way bigger than his wrist, so he probably borrowed it from someone else's hand. Therefore, Jacob is the richest person here. Felix is chilling by the pool with his friends. Can you find anything odd here? The weather is warm, but this tree is cold and covered with snow. Felix is having a business trip to Hong Kong. He arrives at the airport and meets 2 pretty ladies near his gate. One of them is a wanted criminal. Can you guess who? Take a look at the poster on the wall. The criminal has a neck tattoo. Although the first lady has a very similar hairstyle and makeup, her neck is clean and she doesn't hide it from the public eye. Meanwhile, the second lady wrapped a scarf around her neck, probably to hide her tattoo. Busted! Felix arrives in Hong Kong and checks into a cozy hotel. The manager warns him that someone has recently started to rob the hotel rooms every once in a while. The thief is super fast. The police couldn't catch him after another robbery. Felix decides to stay here anyway. He drops his stuff on the bed and goes to the shower. When Felix returns to his room, he sees that his wallet is missing, and the window is wide open. He spots the criminal entering a grocery store nearby. Felix rushes there and finds 3 suspects. Can you tell who the robber is? It's the lady in the middle. The first woman is wearing high heels, which means she wouldn't be able to run so fast. And the third lady has a cast on her leg, so she's not a robber either. Felix goes to his family's house after the business trip. He's very excited to finally eat his favorite chocolates he's been dreaming about all week. But the chocolate is gone. Felix interrogates each of his sisters. Leah says, "I just got home and I haven't eaten anything all day." Diana says, "I was studying all day and I didn't eat anything either." And Kelly says, It wasn't me who ate the chocolate, but I guess it was Leah. Who did it? Take a closer look at Diana's desk. There's a chocolate wrapper, but she said she didn't eat anything. She must have lied. Felix opens a fancy home decor boutique. One day, an old man comes in. He picks a $30 rug and asks Felix for a discount. And Felix agrees to sell it for $20. The old man gives him a $50 bill. Felix doesn't have any change, so he goes to his friend who works nearby to change the bill. The friend gives Felix two $20 bills and one $10 bill. Felix gives the old man $30 and puts the remaining $20 in his wallet. The old man leaves with the rug. Soon after that, the friend rushes to the store.
The bill you gave me is fake. I want my money back.
Felix gives his friend his own $50. How much did he lose in total? Felix sold the bag at a $10 discount, so he already lost this money, and then he gave the old guy $30 as change. And he had to return $50 to his friends for the fake bill. But this $20 bill was the one his friend had given him, so Felix had to add $30 from his own pocket. And in total, Felix lost $70. Finally, Felix saved enough money to buy a car. He's having a meeting with 3 guys who want to sell their cars. Each guy tells a few words about their vehicles. Jake says, "I wanted my car to be special, so I bought this one. But now I'm tired of this bright color."
Harry says, I got married and now I'd like to sell my sports car and buy something bigger.
And Will says, "I used to be a beginner, so I purchased a cheap used car, and now I want to sell it." Felix immediately realized that one of the guys is lying. Who? Will. The logo of his car doesn't match the logo on his key. Megan wakes up early and goes to the kitchen. Oh no, her favorite chocolates are missing. Megan is a college student and she shares her house with 3 roommates. 20-year-old twins, Lily and Willie, and their 17-year-old brother, Noah.
Hello.
All the roommates swear that they didn't take the chocolates. Megan doesn't believe them, so she asks about what they were doing last night. Lily says, I was sick, so I skipped dinner and went to bed early.
Oh my God.
Noah says, I was at a nightclub with my best friend. Here's a selfie if you don't believe me. And Willie says, I couldn't sleep, so I went to the college yard and played football. Who's lying? Noah. Take a look at the club entrance. There's a sign saying that persons under 21 years of age cannot enter, so he couldn't be in the club because he's only 17. Oh no. Megan is leaving the house to go to the beach. She takes sunglasses out of her bag, and she accidentally breaks them. Now she needs to buy new ones. Megan calls a taxi and arrives at the street with fashionable boutiques. They have the best accessories in the city. The first building has a sign claiming, the best glasses in the world. The sign on the second building says, the best glasses in the city. And the sign on the third building is the coolest. Can you guess what's written on the third store? The best glasses on the street. Megan enters one of the shopping malls. Suddenly, she meets her college friends, Rose, Laura, and Mia. All ladies look rich, but only one of them has a lot of money. Who is it? It's Laura. She has a key to a Ferrari in her bag. Megan invites her friends for lunch. They go to a smoothie cafe. Megan orders a coffee, but the rest decide to try fruit cocktails. Rose tells the waiter, I don't want my drink to have any red berries or fruits. Laura says, I want my cocktail to have a fruit that starts from the first letter of my name. Mia says, I don't want any yellow or green ingredients in my beverage. There are 3 cocktail options on the menu at the moment. Can you help the waiter recommend a drink for each lady? The third cocktail doesn't have anything red, so it's for Rose. The second one has a lemon, so it fits Laura's order. And Mia can have a chocolate cocktail with strawberries. The next day, Megan gets an invitation to a movie festival. Her secret celebrity crush, Greg, will be there. So, Megan puts on her best dress and makeup, and then she rushes to a beauty salon. A couple of hours later, Megan looks fabulous, and she's ready to call a taxi. Oh no, someone's stolen her purse. Megan calls the police. The officer arrives quickly and questions the employees. Jessa says, I did her hair and it ended up fabulous. When we finished, I saw the purse in Megan's hands. Bella says, I did Megan's nails. Sorry, I have another client, so I don't have time to talk to you. Sheila says, I was too busy doing Megan's makeup, so I didn't pay any attention to her personal belongings. Who's lying? Sheila. Megan applied her makeup at home, so her story is fake.
Really?
Megan gets her purse back and goes to the festival. At the party, she sees Greg. She wants to come over, but he's already surrounded by 3 pretty ladies who want to dance with him. Only one of them is safe. Can you guess who? The second lady is a werewolf, and the third lady has a vampire bite on her neck, so she's gonna turn into a vampire soon. Therefore, only the first lady is safe to dance with.
Hello.
The next morning after the festival, Greg wakes up feeling sick. He needs a professional doctor, and he's ready to pay a lot. Many fake doctors apply hoping to get Greg's money. Take a look at their profiles. Can you spot the real doctor? The second resume says that Mr. Thomas Hansen was born on November 31st, but this date doesn't exist. November only has 30 days, so this guy must be a fake. As for Dr. Richard Green, there's no city mentioned in the place of birth, only the state, so Greg should pick the first doctor. On Sunday night at almost 10 p.m., Megan goes to the kitchen and brews tea. She leaves her cup on the table and goes to the toilet. Then, Megan returns to the kitchen. She tastes her tea and spits it out right away. Someone put salt in it. The next morning, Megan questions her roommates to figure out who pulled the prank. Lily says, I was at a birthday party all night. I don't know who did it. Willie says, I went to the park to watch birds. I invited Noah to come with me, but he refused. And Noah says, I went to the movies with my girlfriend. Who pranked Megan? Willie. The prank happened at 10 p.m. It's too late for bird watching. Megan is late for an important class. She can take one of these 3 routes to get to the campus. Can you help her choose the best option? Only the second route will take her to her final destination. Megan's older brother Bob is an astronaut. Today, he begins his first space mission. The rocket launch goes smoothly, but soon it begins to fall. Megan calls 3 superheroes to save Bob. Chillman can turn anything into ice. Lady Hour has the power to rewind time. And Mr. Plastic can stretch his body for miles. Which superhero can save Bob? Chillman is pretty helpless in this case. Lady Hour can rewind time, but what if nobody believes her and they launch the rocket again? Mr. Plastic is the best choice. He can reach the rocket and pull Bob out, and then bring him back to Earth. Megan comes to a wild beach to take some pictures and relax. Suddenly, she sees a group of suspicious people standing on the shore. She wants to approach, but the people notice Megan and sprint in the opposite direction. She runs after them on the sand along the water, but can't catch up. Megan looks around and figures out that she was chasing ghosts. How did she figure that out? Megan ran after those people on the sand, but she can only see the footprints of her boots. After the beach, Megan goes to her favorite restaurant. She spots 5 odd things here right away. Can you see them too? The prices should be in dollars, not in square feet. There's a scorpion in this guy's glass. The WC sign on the door is mirrored. The waitress has 3 hands, and this table lacks 1 leg. Megan's school friend Bella is visiting the city and invites Megan for coffee. Megan arrives at the meeting point, but Bella is late. A couple of hours later, Megan begins to worry. She calls Bella and asks where she is. Bella replies, "Sorry, I have an emergency up here. I'm with my grandfather who lives on a farm. There are no shops or any other infrastructure near this house. So I brought him some medicine." Megan is touched. She agrees to postpone the meeting. Bella thanks her and sends Megan a selfie. That's when Megan realizes that Bella is a liar. How did she know? Take a look at Bella's sunglasses. They reflect the word mall. But Bella said that her grandfather lived in a remote area. Busted! Megan buys 2 items at the garage sale. Here's a clue to guess the first one. It's a 5-letter word under you. Remove the first letter and it's above you. Remove the second letter as well and it's around you. What did she buy? A chair. And this is a clue for the second purchase. I look at you, you look at me. I raise my right, you raise your left. What am I? It's a mirror. Kai wakes up on a cruise ship. He's in a cabin in total darkness. He has only 1 matchstick. What should he light first? A newspaper, a candle, or a lamp? Kai should light the matchstick first. Kai leaves the cabin and walks down the hallway. To reach the deck, he needs to enter one of these 3 doors, but each passage has an obstacle. A huge venomous snake is crawling behind the first door. There's a kraken with creepy tentacles waiting behind the second door. And there's a hungry megalodon with sharp teeth behind the third door. What should Kai choose? Kai should pick the third door. Megalodon can't survive without water, so it's not dangerous anymore. Kai goes out on the open deck. He spots 4 weird details right away. Can you see them too? There's Saturn in the sky instead of the sun. This table doesn't have any legs. There's a hula hoop hanging on the deck instead of a life buoy. And this passenger's shadow doesn't match the reality. Kai is starving. He enters the ship's dining hall. Unfortunately, he missed dinner hours. The waiter says that they have only 3 meals left, but only one of them is safe to eat. Can you guess which one? Let's take a look at this pizza. Can you see these metal nuts among the topping ingredients? It's definitely not safe. As for this pudding, there's a spider stuck in it, so Kai should probably choose the sandwich. Kai looks around and sees 3 security guards having lunch, but one of them is actually a thief. Can you spot this person? It's the lady in the middle. Take a closer look at her hat. There's a fake logo on it. The star doesn't match the logo that the other 2 ladies are wearing. Also, she's wearing a fake uniform. Her clothes are underneath. Kai decides to follow the fake security guard. She enters the storage room and puts something inside a safe. Kai wants to find out what she's hiding there, so he waits until she leaves and tries to open the safe, but it's locked. So he needs to enter a 4-digit code. There's a clue in this room. Can you help Kai crack the code? Let's take a look at these 4 suitcases. The number of stripes on them implies the digits in the code, so the password is 3514. Kai opens the safe and finds 2 similar gemstones inside it. One of them is a real diamond, and another is a fake copy made from quartz. How can Kai quickly find out which diamond is real without using any special equipment? He should drop both gemstones into the water. Quartz will float and sink slower because it's less dense than the real diamond. Kai tells the ship security guards about the thief and goes to his cabin. Suddenly, he sees his neighbor Molly in the corridor. She's very upset. What happened? Someone robbed my cabin while I was hanging out by the pool. They took all my jewelry. Kai explores the space and says, the thief must be your enemy. It's not a regular robbery. How did he know? Take a closer look at the mess. The thief opened the lipsticks and smeared them on the floor on purpose. Also, all the shampoo bottles are spilled, and Molly's dresses are torn. Why would an ordinary thief waste time on these things? Therefore, the criminal had an intention to cause as much damage as possible. Kai checks the cabin with a special ultraviolet flashlight. Can you help him spot 3 clues? Here they are. Kai goes for a walk around the deck trying to find further clues. Can you spot a superhero around the passengers? Over here. Kai returns to his cabin. Can you find 3 emojis in this room? Ready to see the answer? Here they are. Kai can't find the key to his suitcase. Can you find it in this variety? It's over here. Kai goes to the local smoothie cafe to get some fresh juice. Can you spot 1 extra emoji on this image board? This cactus is the only inedible emoji here. Kai returns to his cabin and sees that someone drew a threat on his door. Kai looks around the hallway and finds 3 suspects. He questions them right away. What were you doing within the last 15 minutes? Sheila says, I was just taking selfies on the deck for my social media. And then I went to my cabin to put on another outfit. You can see it for yourself if you don't believe me. Lily says, I got sunburned in the morning, so I was just laying in my bed, eating and watching my favorite show. And Jean says, I just finished my workout in the gym, and I'd like to have a shower if you don't mind. Who's lying? Sheila, take a look at the dress in her selfies. It's the same outfit that she's wearing now. Therefore, her story is fake. The ship's security guards interrogate Sheila and check her bags. Can you see anything suspicious in her luggage? This shoe is clearly larger than all the others, and it doesn't have a pair, so she's probably hiding something inside it. The next morning, Kai wakes up very early and goes to the pool. It's almost empty. There's only one beautiful lady chilling on a sun lounger. Kai approaches her to introduce himself, but suddenly, he changes his mind. Why? There are 2 inflatable flamingos in the pool, and also 2 cocktails, one in the lady's hand, and another one probably belongs to her spouse, because she has a tan line on her ring finger. Kai decides to go to the dining area to have breakfast. Can you spot anything odd? What's wrong with this lamp? After breakfast, Kai goes to explore the ship and gets lost in its corridors. Can you figure out which path will lead him to the center? Only path C will actually lead Kai to the center. Kai enters the exit door, but there's another trap. The door slams shut behind him. He needs to enter a 4-digit code to open the combination lock and escape. Luckily, he finds a note with a hint. Can you figure out the code? To solve this mystery, we need to count the number of identical figures in this picture, and the code is 2463. Kai returns to his cabin after 3 hours of absence. Wow, there's a huge gift box on his bed. The card says it's from a secret admirer. Only 3 staff members had access to his cabin today. Kai questions them all. The repairman says, "I entered your cabin 30 minutes ago to fix the sink. It's okay now. But anyways, I'm too broke to bring gifts to the passengers." The cleaning lady says, "I entered your room about an hour ago to change the bed sheets and take out the trash, but I didn't see any gifts." And the manager says, "I have a master key, but it's always in my pocket. Nobody warned me about any gift deliveries." Who's lying? The cleaning lady said she had taken out the trash, but the trash bin in Kai's cabin is full. And there are many flies around it, which probably means that it's not very fresh. So her story must be fake. Now, he's trapped on a deserted island. He only has a mirror and a piece of wood. What should he do to survive? Kai can use the mirror to reflect sunlight onto the wood, creating a signal fire so that the rescuers could find him. It's a cold winter evening. Amber goes to her friend Mara's house and sees clear signs of a robbery. Everything's turned upside down, and Mara is missing. Amber calls the police. They arrive and question Amber. "I knocked on the door and rang the bell repeatedly. The light was on in one of the rooms. That's why I thought that Mara must be home. So I decided to look out the window, but the glass was frozen. So I breathed on the ice to melt it, and then I noticed the hot mess inside the house and called you." After hearing her story, the policemen suspect Amber. Why? Both sides of the glass would have been frozen, so Amber couldn't have a chance to see through the window clearly. Therefore, her story is fake. Nina enters the local museum and sees a beautiful statue, but unfortunately, its shadow is missing. Can you find it among these options? Only the second one fits perfectly. Carl is a legendary wizard. Olaf has been working as his servant for over 30 years. He wants to pay Olaf back for his loyalty.
"Make one wish and I will fulfill it. You have 1 day to think about it."
Olaf gets very happy and rushes home to discuss the wish with his relatives. His mother is blind, so he asks Olaf to bring her eyesight back. Olaf's wife asks for a son because they've been childless for many years. And Olaf's father wants to be rich. That's why he insists that Olaf ask for wealth. The next day, Olaf goes to Carl and makes one wish. And it satisfies all the 3 desires of his family members. What was the wish? Olaf said, "My mother wants to see her grandson swinging on a swing of gold." 4 cars come to a 4-way stop, all coming from different directions. They can't decide who got there first, so they all enter the intersection at the same time. But they don't crash into each other. How is this possible? All the cars made right-hand turns. A frog falls at the bottom of a 30-foot well. Each morning, the frog climbs 3 feet up, but each night, it slips 2 feet down during sleep. So, at the beginning of the first day, the frog has 30 feet to go. At the beginning of the second day, it has 29 feet to go, and so on. How many days does the frog need to escape from the well? At the beginning of the 28th day, the frog will climb the last 3 feet and escape. Rick and Nick are twins who live on a farm together. Rick always tells the truth, and Nick always lies. One day, a traveler comes along and asks for directions to the nearest village. But he doesn't know who's the honest man and who's the liar. He can only ask one question to one of the brothers to figure out the correct route. What question should he ask? The traveler should ask any brother the following question. If I ask your brother which way leads to the nearby village, what would he say? In this case, whatever direction the traveler gets, it will be the opposite of the correct path. Can you find a copy of this key in this variety? Here's the perfect match. Ava, Brooke, and Chloe are fashion models. They participate in a fashion show. Each model is wearing a dress of different colors: red, green, and blue. The star of the show will wear a red dress. We know for sure that Ava's dress is not red, Chloe's dress is not green, and the color of Brooke's dress can be mixed with 2 other colors of the rainbow. Can you figure out the color of each model's dress? Let's start with Brooke. Her dress color can be mixed with 2 other colors of the rainbow. Only the green dress matches this condition because it's a mix of yellow and blue. Therefore, we can conclude that Ava's dress is blue and Chloe's dress must be red. So the star of the show is Chloe. Mr. Thompson is a legendary chemist. Unfortunately, someone kidnapped him from his lab. The police arrive and examine the crime scene. They find no clear evidence except a piece of paper lying on Mr. Thompson's desk. He only wrote out these 5 elements: nickel, carbon, oxygen, lanthanum, and sulfur. The lab guard says that only 3 people visited the chemist that day: his sister Laura, his co-worker Nicholas, and his wife Tessa. The police arrest the criminal immediately. Can you guess who? The list of chemicals was a clue. Their abbreviations sound like the name Nicholas. Billy wakes up in a dusty, abandoned basement. Suddenly, a creepy voice announces, "If you manage to open the combination lock, you're free to go. But if you don't, you'll stay here forever. I left a clue for you in this room." Can you help Billy crack the code? These boxes will help figure out the password. Mr. Bold takes a walk on the beach. He sees some boats. All except 2 are blue. Also, all except 2 boats are red, and all except 2 are white. Can you figure out how many boats of each color are present on that beach? Let's focus on the first 2 statements. We can fairly assume that 2 boats are not red and 2 boats are not blue. Now, one of those boats that are not red can be blue. Similarly, one of the non-blue boats can be red. If we remember the third statement, that all except 2 boats are white, we can conclude there's only 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 white boat on the beach. Can you figure out what's wrong with this picture? Why is there a sock hanging here? David goes to the local haunted house at night to film a vlog for his followers. Today is a new moon, so the night is very dark. He enters the house, and suddenly, the door shuts behind him. He's trapped! David wanders around and finds 3 doors leading outside, but each path is hiding some dangers. There's a wicked maniac clown behind the first door. He ties up every person he manages to catch and forces them to listen to his jokes forever. There's a hungry werewolf hiding behind the second door. He's the strongest one in his pack, and there's a huge black hole waiting behind the third door. It's impossible to pass through it. Can you help David choose the safest option to escape? He should choose the second door. It's a new moon, remember? The werewolf is not a threat unless the moon is full. Can you spot any odd details here? Hello. What about this picture? Can you see anything weird? Number 5 is missing.